out in LA. Just complete disclaimer, okay? Complete disclaimer. I am driving safe. My phone is mounted, okay, per regulations of having a phone in the car. And I'm not going to be texting and touching the phone. So for anybody that does talk about that, I'm just putting a disclaimer out there. I literally talked to a police officer in California, and they said you are allowed to have a mounted phone and record yourself while you are driving and just not be texting and touching it and picking it up and doing all that. So just complete disclaimer there. Okay, so there's always somebody, and I literally I had jury duty not too long ago, and so I was able to talk to several police officers and ask them this because there was so many comments from, really rude comments, actually, not people that were probably actually concerned. Actually people that probably are the main ones that text and drive. Okay, I'm probably being more safe right now just talking to out in the open, out in the air, right? So just complete disclaimer there. Okay, so it is a beautiful Thursday. It is a gorgeous Thursday in November right now in LA. I love when the sun's out. I just get so motivated and inspired when the sun is out. I am really spoiled in that way. I do love the sun. So I'm going to be on the move today, getting a lot done, being really creative, running errands, doing all that. But today is today's fitness check. Okay. So if you've been following the tribe for a while, the Embody Pursuit tribe, we are checking in with each other every single day up until the end of the year. And today I really want to talk about, on my way to my 2-hour workout that I'm about to do, I really want to talk about doing things like this when you actually don't feel like doing them. And today I really feel like I'm excited, I'm ready to go, I'm pumped up. But there's several days, and maybe you guys can even tell in some of my lives, where I'm just kind of like, okay, I'm gonna get my workout in today. But because I do things, all right, because I've built up a muscle to where I am doing things that I don't want to do, but I know that are good for me, that I know I'm going to get a return on. When I invest today, I know I'm going to get a really good return later. It always pays off. And I always feel super amazing after I work out when I don't want to. Okay. So I really want to encourage anyone that just doesn't want to move your body today, anyone that is struggling with that, practice for the next, if you think that you're gonna start January 1st of 2025 and just be able to get it in and start, going after your fitness goals and all that, it doesn't work like that. You have to start to build the muscle now to do it when you don't want to do it. That way, when January 1st comes, it's like you're so far ahead of the game. So right now we have about, 50 days out or so, give or take, 50 days out until December 31st, until January 1st. And this is what you got to do. So if you're watching me and you're like, man, I just do not feel like getting it in. I do not feel like working out today. I just don't do it. Do it specifically because you don't feel like doing it. Just do 15 minutes. 15 minutes. Okay. So if you can do that for yourself, I am telling you, it's crazy. I feel like this is how people become Olympic gold medalists. They are doing things when they are on that time of the month, which I don't really encourage, by the way, for women, but that's a whole nother video. But they're doing things when they feel sick. They're doing things when they feel like they're depressed. They're doing things when they feel stressed. They're still getting up and right now, I wish I could turn the camera around. There's these 2 women right now that are up and walking their dog, and they have their sneakers on. I could tell they're probably gonna go to this park over here. They have their sneakers on, their workout outfit, and they're up and they're ready. Okay, they have their messy bun up here, a top knot, and they have their glasses on and they're ready to go. And who knows if they wanted to or not, right? So get up and go on a 15-minute walk. When you don't want to work out, hit 20 jumping jacks, 20 jump squats, and 20 ab workout, 20 just crunches. Do it every day that you don't want to work out. Do it for 5 minutes. I mean, I know you got 15 minutes in you, but do it minimum. When you're I literally, I do not want to do this, that's when you have to do it. That's when you start to actually not shift physically, but you shift mentally. So I don't care who you are, what age you are, it has been proven time and time again, you can transform your body at any age. We've seen it now. We should be past that. Like, if you're in your 60s watching this, if you're in your 70s, if you're 50 and below, don't even talk to me about any excuses, right? But 50 and up, like, just Google fit people in their 70s, fit people in their 80s. There's thousands of them now. So get rid of that. Any limiting beliefs on that. All right. If you want to transform your body and you want it to, you feel overwhelmed with it, all these people do that are super fit is they just do micro chipping away at getting closer to their goal. That's it. They don't transform into that overnight unless you're doing surgery. And then you could tell when people are doing surgery, right? So I'm telling you, 15 minutes of just doing something when you don't want to do it. And then on a day like this where I'm ready to go, it's like, I'm going to be so like ready to go. The reason why I'm putting my hands up like this is because I'm going to my kickboxing class. Like, I am pumped up. I'm excited. I accidentally got some of my eyeliner in my eye this morning, so my eye's like kind of messing with me. But other than that, I'm going to be ready to go in my class. So it's because on the days where it's gray outside, the days where I just feel kind of like, when I got back from being out of town, I was in Northern California. I live in Los Angeles County. When I was in Northern California, I did pretty good with my overall eating, but I overindulged on these like toffee pecans. So when I got back home, I felt really, really puffy. And anytime I overeat on sugar, hands down, my body starts to hold on to water weight. It is what it is. I know this about myself now. So I did it to myself. There's no excuse. I just only have myself to blame. So I just was like, okay, well, since I decided to overindulge, which I didn't feel good after. Like, sometimes people are like, well, you were living. I'm at the point now where when I do stuff like that to myself, it like really affects me. Like, I really feel lethargic. It affects my sleep. Like, I don't know if it's because I've just done so many 3-day juice cleanses and 24-hour fasting and intermittent fasting. Like, I can really feel into my body now. So when I have sugar and I'm not used to overindulging, that actually isn't me living. Oh, I just want to live life. I just want to enjoy life. Like, I was having a sugar attack. Like, I was literally spiking my blood sugar. So it was making me want to crave more of the toffee pecans. So much to where I ate them 3 days straight and then came back to LA feeling it, right? Like, my stomach was hurting. Like, I literally felt lethargic. My body was holding on to water weight. If you look at 2 videos ago, like, you could probably kind of see it. Like, I'm still kind of flushing out some of the sugar, like the water from like from my body holding onto the water due to sugar. So it's fine. I know that about myself. So what is it for you? Like, what do you know about yourself where you're like, I know I really shouldn't be doing this because I actually do feel like crap after I do it. Like, what is that for you? And that's okay. We're human, but let's not continue, right? Let's not continue and then gain the 15 unnecessary pounds during these next 15 days. From right now till the end of the year, people gain the most weight. People gain a ton of weight because there's just so much access to cookies and pastries and holiday drinks and holiday parties, holiday get-togethers, and we're not going to do that for ourselves. So enjoy, do what you have to do. Like, literally, if you want this for yourself, sit down with yourself for 15 minutes and write out a game plan. Like, you can do this. Like, I know you love if you can scroll on Instagram, if you can look at other people reaching their goals, you can take 15 minutes out to not scroll, put on some nice music, thinking music, concentration music, and say, okay, what am I going to do for the next 50 days that's going to set me up for success to just not gain extra weight? Like, if I can just maintain, if I can lose, that's awesome. But if I can just maintain where I'm at and not gain an extra 7 pounds, 8 pounds, 10 pounds, 11 pounds, what is that going to look like for me? So does that mean I'm going to have to eat before I go to some of these events? Do I not go to every single event that I'm invited to? Right? Do I eat a little bit and then eat just a small portion when I'm at the event? Maybe you plan to only go to, you know, like the main ones, like, okay, Thanksgiving, and then like 2 or 3 like family events during December. If you're going to go to all the events, which you know, family I think is always number one. So definitely always spend time with family. But if you know that you like are also setting yourself up for a disaster because you're going to have 3 rounds of dinner, like you're going to have a ton of leftovers, promise yourself, like look yourself in the mirror and say, okay, I love you enough to eat 1 round of dinner. So if that means you need to eat like some protein before, like eat some chicken and vegetables before you go to an event, that way you're kind of like, you're not, because sometimes we'll show up to events and our eyes are bigger than our stomach. So we'll eat, and then all of a sudden we're leaving the event feeling like really crazy. Let me know in the comments if you guys know what I'm talking about, right? I'll go ahead and like the video if you're resonating with what I'm saying. It just lets me, it's like a virtual nod, okay? So like, don't do that to yourself this year. Like, you can do this. Okay? And yeah, here's the thing. I want to keep it really real with you. By you doing this, for the first month you're doing it, you may not really see any results. And especially if you're 35 and above, your body is adjusting itself. So I think that's where people get really discouraged is like, you know, your body's holding on to water weight, you know, maybe you're upping your water. Well, you start to gain, like when you start drinking the correct amount of water, your body will hold on to the water because it's not used to having the correct amount of water. So it's like, ooh, this body doesn't really have this much water all the time. Let me hold on to it. But just continue to drink the water, and then the water weight will start to flush out. Okay? When you start to eat healthier or stay away from the sugar, you're gonna crave it. Your body is going, it is scientifically proven that sugar, all the bells and whistles that go off in our brain, that goes off for when someone takes cocaine, it's the same bells and whistles that go off, the hormone bells and whistles that I'm talking about, that go off due to cocaine. It's the same ones that go off for sugar. Like, it's already been proven. So we know that now, right? We're educated enough. We know that. We have the information. So when you go through man, I really want to just like overindulge on all these cookies, just know when you have the first cookie, it's going to turn into 5. Not for everybody. Some people don't even like sugary stuff. So this is not for you. Like, that's how my mom is. My mom, she can have 1 cookie and be fine. I actually like, I think I literally am a recovering sugaraholic. Like, if I have 1, it automatically turns into 8. Like, I can't have just 4. So I just had to come to terms with that. And my mom will literally be looking at me like, I actually think you do have a problem. Like, because she's like, I can have a couple bites and be fine. So what is it for you? Like, what? So I keep referring to sugar and cakes and toffee nuts and stuff like that. So what is your version of what I'm talking about, where you just know that you might need to do cold turkey? You might need to do cold turkey. So for the rest of the year, I've already mapped it out for myself, and I feel like I'm living. So I know there's going to be opposing opinions on this, and that's fine. But I feel like I'm living when I am staying within my standard that I set for myself. Like, I feel happy when I do that. I feel happy when I wake up and I'm like, wow, I went to that event. There was so many cakes and pastries and all that, and I literally didn't touch it because I don't need it right now. I have certain goals that I'm trying to hit. So I'm actually really proud of myself that I promised myself I was going to do something and I stuck to it. Like, I actually am building a healthier like relationship with my word, with myself. Like, how many of us keep our word with other people, but then we tell ourselves that we're going to do something and then we don't keep our own word with our own self, right? So yeah, I'm definitely like, on my birthday's February 2nd. On my birthday, I'm having some bomb ass, or I'm trying to not cuss. I'm trying to have cake, right? I'm going to have cake. I'm going to have cookies. Like, I'm definitely going to enjoy. But up until then, I'm just going to skip out. Like, I overindulged on the toffee nuts. I felt crazy after. So what is that for you, right? Do what you need, like, do what you want. Have the cake, have the cookies. And if you're somebody that can, limit yourself, then this message isn't necessarily for you. But just replace so your thing might be alcohol. Like, you might be your alcohol intake, like you might have one cocktail and it's going to turn into 4. Like you just can't have one. Then maybe you might need to just abstain from alcohol for 30 days, right? Get your body back to the point where your body's not craving that high from the, that hit from the alcohol. Maybe it's smoking for you. Maybe it's overindulging on fried chicken, like fried food. Okay, so maybe refrain from the fried food, or maybe eat before, and you're going to be in an environment where there's a ton of fried food. Eat before, have a really big hearty salad, and then go to the event with the intention of eating. But then you're just going to be full already, so more than likely you'll eat less. You'll eat less of the fried stuff. Like, do what you have to do. Make little tweaks and changes, and like set yourself up for success for the next 50 days. And I promise you, you will be so proud of yourself come January 1st when all of that is done and you don't have extra tire around your stomach where you're like, man, I worked so hard all year. I lost all of it during the holiday season. Now I have to start deeper in the hole. And here's a reality check. The longer you are on the planet, it just becomes more difficult. And I just hate to admit that. I'm the number one person that hates to admit that, because I really thought that like I was Superwoman and I was just gonna naturally be fit and naturally just be able to eat what I want. There is some anomalies though. There is some anomalies of human beings. I didn't get blessed with that blessing of being an anomaly, but I did get blessed with the ability to be very disciplined. And so that, because of the number of years on the planet, I now have more wisdom, which helps me become more disciplined. So even though with a body, it might be a little bit more difficult to like get it moving, because I'm disciplined, because of my wisdom, because of being older, it's easier. So, there's a balance there, right? Like I might be lacking in another area, but I've gained my wisdom stripes, right? So what is that for you? Okay, this is not a live. I'm coming on here talking just about myself. I'm just using my own examples for you to translate into, okay, so Ciana's talking about that. The version of what she's talking about for me is this. Okay, so write it out. If going into December, what events are you gonna be going to? Okay, so I got a work event. I have another friends get together. Okay, so all the, I'm gonna do a couples date. Maybe you're married and you hook up with other couples. Well, link up with other couples and like go to whatever your holiday night out or whatever. Okay, so what's gonna be your plan there? Like plan it out now, and you'd be surprised. Just even thinking it through ahead of time, that event will show up and you're like, okay, I'm not going to overindulge like I did last year, or I'm not going to go hard on the shots like I did last year, right? So I really hope, sorry, I don't know, like over here, it just smells like there's like a gas leak or something. It's really weird. Okay. So, I'll just read what some of you guys are saying, and I'm gonna be wrapping my hands while we're doing this. One of my personal goals is to like wake up just a little earlier so I can get here 30 minutes early and then just sit in the car and do these lives with you while I'm not driving. Just because I do, well, number one, because it just freaks people out so much, but number two, I want to be able to like see your guys' comments and questions as they come in. So, good morning, good morning. Let's see. Welcome everybody. Hallie, I had the overeating, I'm telling you, and I had a problem with that majorly. And I actually found, after that live, I actually went and found, why does it smell like a gas leak over here? I actually found, I typed in Overeating Anonymous, and I found a like a YouTube. So I'm actually going to watch some of the videos and learn about some of the tactics and stuff, and just see how I can implement some of that stuff. Because I think I still struggle with that as well. Like, yeah, I was not an overeater in my 20s at all. If anything, I was an undereater, because I was just on the go, go, go. But, and then when I started rewarding myself with food during my caregiving journey, it really messed me up. So I'm like learning how to get over that. I completely burned out on fasting. I was fasting for spiritual reasons for 14 days, not eating certain food groups, and realized I have religious OCD. It created such a beautiful access with God. I love that. I love that. I love that. You know, it does make you definitely get closer with God. And then it helps you like feel into your body more. Ali says, having 3 rounds of dinner, so crazy, but so real. When the food is just so yummy. It is. It's so yummy. And then, but like, we don't feel yummy after, you know what I'm saying? Like, we're looking in the mirror and just being like, man, like I feel lethargic. I feel puffy. I feel inflamed. Like, the reason why I'm looking up, because I know that feeling too well. And I always get, let me move this, I can't move my chair back. It just doesn't feel good. Like, it's at the point where I really don't feel like I'm living. I don't. I feel like I let myself down, actually, when I wake up and feel super inflamed and super puffy. But I'm burned out, but want to go back to intermittent fasting. Yeah, like, yeah, I feel you. I feel you. I've gone through stages like that. Like, I felt like I was doing too many juice cleanses. I was like, okay, I need to like chill out. You know, we just go through these like ebbs and flows. Like, nothing's really like a perfect 10 every day for 365 days. You know, we just go through these perfect, these ebbs and flows, and go through experiments and see what works, and, you know, and it's just part of life. Sugar, and now I can't go without meat like I used to. Oh, wow. Well, you know, your body might have been craving the protein. So I actually don't, in my personal opinion, I don't think that, even though I don't eat meat, haven't eaten meat for 8 years, I don't think that journey is for everybody. Like, I don't really think that veganism is for everybody. I'm just kind of catching up. It says 30 minutes a day, then you can drink all day. Go to Walmart, Amazon, offer up, get weights, bands, balls. Yep. No Diddy. And get right for 2025. I'm ready. Get out of the house. Get out of house arrest. Ciana B. Yeah, no. Seriously, like, I'm telling you, getting out of the house, just figuring it out. Like, we gotta just figure it out. It is time. Coach Terry, thank you so much for the super chat. I appreciate it. And thank you for being here. Valerie says, I got family coming in town during the holidays and they have 0 discipline. Okay, so yeah, that happened to, it was flipped. So a family member of mine was staying with another family of mine. I'm not gonna like go into detail because they probably are watching this and like, why are you telling my business? So, but one family member went to stay with another family, and they literally gained 8 pounds staying with this other family of mine. And they're literally like, I can't believe I did that to myself. Like, working so hard all year and gained 8 pounds. And was just like, I just couldn't stay. Like, the thing is, when you plan for yourself, that's like, okay, when you go through and do the work and see what I need to do, what I'm going to do when I get faced with the opportunity to have more rounds of food, what am I going to do when everyone's going to want to go out for late night ice cream? What am I going to do? Like, think about the habits of like when you're in those moments. Like, actually think through the scenarios and just go through, okay, what am I going to do in this moment? Right? So if am I gonna just go ahead and eat whatever I want with them, overindulge? Okay, well then wake up an hour early the next day and go for an hour walk. Like find something, like just do something to balance it out, like so you don't gain and then you're feeling crazy at the beginning of the year and then looking at Instagram and then having all these like, you know, I'm not saying you guys are doing that, but I'm just thinking of in general, like then looking at Instagram and being like, man, you know, like how are these people doing it? Well, they weren't doing the overindulging. They were able to keep it together. So like for me, when I visited my brother and I was there for like 5-6 days, I literally only gained a 0.5. When I got on the scale before, when I got on the scale after, 0.5. So I was happy with myself because when I'm with them, like they don't care at all. Like they're just like in their early 30s, like they have young children, like they don't care about a broccoli. They don't care. Nothing green is, you know, like they don't. Well, my brother's wife is like, you know, is tapping in with that. But like, you know what I'm saying? It's like they're just a young family and like that's the last thing on their mind is what I'm saying. So there's just nothing for me in the house. And so before when I've been there, I just will eat whatever's in that kitchen. And I'm like, I can't do that. Like I'm not in their position right now. Like I have different goals than they do. And their goals are perfectly fine. And my goals are perfectly fine, but I can't fall to my demise because I'm in a different environment. So what am I going to do next time? So this time, instead of gaining 3 pounds after I visit for a week, I only gained 0.5 and it was just like the water weight from the sugar, the toffee that I had. I love kombucha. Yeah, I do drink kombucha. I don't drink it often though, because for some reason it does make me like it like swells my stomach up. But I do like it though. So I just told myself I'm just going to have it as a treat here and there. And this is the thing, you can eat whatever you want if you're a teenager, but like when I have children, I'm not gonna instill that in them. Like I'm gonna instill like do the best you can now to where when you do become, you know, 35 and up, you're just so on point with your discipline. So have the pizza, have the cookies, have the, you know, have the candy, but like, okay, we're going to do weekend walks together and I'm going to tell you why we're doing this, right? Or, you know, I'm going to teach it, like show documentaries, like actually teaching, because I actually think that the lack, like the encouragement for children to be obese, oh, you're young, just eat whatever you want. Like it's really sad to me. I actually think it's really sad. I don't think that we should just be encouraging our teenagers to eat whatever they want, because then they're turning into obese young adults when their life slows down and they have like a 9 to 5 and they're sitting at a desk, you know what I mean? And then their hormones are slowing down. Like how many people gained the freshman 15 from college because there was no teaching about like nutrition and balance and all of that. That's a fact. You want to make sure your kids have healthy habits and discipline on what they're eating and not, you know, it should be eating. Yeah. So it's like there's obese children that I know and it breaks my heart. Like, because that was not a normal thing. When I was younger, it was maybe one obese child in the whole grade. In the whole grade. Now it's normal to see a third of the class obese, and like it's just fine. Like everyone's like, well, they're kids and don't fat shame and all this stuff, and it's like I think it's actually child abuse, to be honest. I actually think it's child abuse to let your child overeat and overindulge on anything that they want just because they cried. Like back then, back in the day, like back in my day, like if you wanted a candy, it was a no and you just pouted about it and then you got over it. You know what I mean? Like now the parents are so scared of the, like not all, again, like there's some amazing parents out there. So, you know, there's still parents out there doing amazing stuff in 2024, but there is a notch down of like just letting your kid kind of like go through the emotions of not getting what they wanted. So, and then it, like, I love that my mom did that. Like, I thank her. All those times I wanted Butterfingers, My daughter and I watched news special the other night where a 4-year-old boy was over 100 pounds and he had to use a sleep apnea machine since he was 2. Just because the parents don't know how to say no. And just deal with them crying for a little bit. That's exactly why that's exactly why the mom let him overeat. He would cry and beg her until she gave in. I did that. Like, how many of us did that when we were younger? We all cried and begged. And I don't know what it is. Like, they just had more of a backbone then. They were like, they just went on about listening to their music, and we're in the back like, you know, a Butterfinger. I want a Butterfinger. And, you know, but it was just a no. It was a no, and that's it. So I don't know what happened through generation baby boomer, older generation X to like millennial and under. I don't know what happened, but like, ooh, it enrages me actually. It's like a passion of mine. It enrages me. And because my mom said no, I'm not an obese adult. It didn't feel good at the time, right? Yes, and she was like, he's hungry. No, he's still hungry after eating dinner, man. Exactly. He's craving the sugar in the fried chicken that you just, like, yeah, every human wants more. That stuff is good. If they too big is okay, but if they too skinny, it's not. I mean, yeah, there's children that are under eating as well. And I actually think that parents should, yeah, this is live. I actually think that parents, when children are actually severely under eating, I really think that parents should go out of their way to get with a specialist on how to maybe work with like what's happening mentally, right? Because I do think that there's something there, or like a very picky child. I know that there's like specialists out there, and I know you have to go out of your way to really be on that journey to get, basically bottom line is your child should be within their healthy range, not too low, not too above, right? So, and I just don't understand this culture of like thinking it's cute to have like really obese children. Like, oh, they're just, you know, they're chunky right now. No, they're actually obese. Like, they're actually obese. My brother was chunky. That was like, if I were to show you pictures of my brother, he just had like a little pot belly. You know, I'm not talking about chunky kids. That's something different. I'm talking about obese children. Like, there's obese children out there, and we're like just kind of nonchalantly calling them chunky. But no, they're obese. It was scary. My kids struggled with under eating, and they're normal now. Oh, thank God. Thank God. Yeah, I think I'm gonna have a child that's very close to me in biology. I don't want to call it out, just to, you know, protect the person's. I know this person will be like, Ciana, chill on that. So there's a child in my family that we're going through that right now with the under eating, and it's something that we're all trying to band together to figure out how to get this child to like eat more, because this child is just like a super picky eater, super picky. So it's a tough. So I'm happy that you said it's a phase. I'm hoping that ends up being the case. For picky eaters, parents used to tell them that they weren't gonna cook anything else. Yeah, it was just like, and cured, literally. But now it's like, okay, like the parents are bowing down and, okay, well, what do you want to eat? Pizza! Or, you know, like, McDonald's! Like, of course, what child isn't going to say pizza, McDonald's, Butterfinger? Oh my God. You know what I'm saying? Thank you, Patrick. What child isn't going to say that? Like, I say that to myself. I have to parent myself. You know what I mean? Like, we all want those things. So back in the day, it was like we wanted something else, and it was just like you had to sit there for 2 hours. We had to sit there for, and I'm not saying that this is right or wrong. I don't know. But I do know it just kind of like we were forced to get over the fact that, okay, well, the peas, the broccoli, and the chicken and the mashed potatoes is what is for dinner. And so I'm gonna have to sit here and decide to either have my stomach growling or eat this. And, you know, eventually you give in and then you're like, oh, this is actually not that bad. So I could talk about this topic. Again, disclaimer, I am not an expert. I'm not a parent yet, right? But I'm a pretty active aunt. Like, I can actually pride myself in that. I'm an active aunt, and I think that there's something I have, you know, I think I have a right to have a little bit of opinion based on just logic, caring for children, being an active aunt, having watched my nieces and nephews by myself and having to deal with those moments, you know, and it's difficult. It is. It's hard when they're crying, and it's hard. You don't want to hear them screaming and all that, but we are the adult. It's like God with us. Like, God is like, okay, I know you're kicking and screaming, but you're going to see the benefit later. It's like, that's what God does with us. Like, we're God's children. So God also blessed us to be in a position to be a good steward for the children, you know, his children ultimately. So like, are we just going to fill them up with sugar and let them have control and just cry and scream, and then we just can't take it? It's like, what happened to the backbone? Eventually you're going to get hungry enough to eat. I'm about to order this gorgeous salad. Ooh, blessings. I'm on my lunch break. Awesome. Enjoy your lunch. Kid, I'm hungry. I want cheeseburger from McDonald's. Parent, okay, we got a cheeseburger from my house. Yeah. I remember those times too. Like, oh, okay, well, we'll just make it at home. And I'm like, no. And then we're literally watching the McDonald's sign go by, and then we're like, oh. And then we go at the house and we kind of forget about it. You know what I mean? That's just how it was. And then all of a sudden, you know, it's like, I got to speak to my millennial brothers and sisters out there like that are parents. Like, what happened? Because we weren't raised like that. So like, what happened? For me, it depends on who makes it and how seasoned. Gotta have flavor. True. You can make really healthy foods super flavorful. You really can. So every day for the next 50 days up until December 31st, we're checking in with each other and talking about health, fitness, mindfulness. And our goal is to just not gain the extra weight. So it's a very niche, specific check-in with each other. We're just, it's not like okay guys, we're not doing this for 30 days. We're not doing that. Everyone's adults here and knows what to do for their goals. We're going to do the honor system here, but it's just a way to hold each other accountable and have these conversations. And the more we have these conversations, the more we're like, you know what? I just talked about this on live with Ciana earlier. You know what? Maybe I'm not going to overindulge. Like, that conversation helped me out. Like, I'm not going to go to I'm going to skip out on happy hour today. So it's just like an accountability, like we're in this together. So I'm going to go ahead and go. I'm 10 minutes late, but it's fine because it's a 2-hour workout today. But I'm going to go ahead and go and get it in. I hope everybody has a beautiful rest of your day. And just, you drank 10 Budweisers? Woo, okay. Drink a lot of water. At least stay hydrated. Flush it out. And try to cut it down to 5, and then cut it down to 3, and then cut it down to 1, and then cut it down to, you know, not going without for 30 days. Anyways, have a beautiful rest of your day. Bye.